Alright, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. I know it's been a while since I've done the part 1 of this, part 2 of this. But time is time, innit? There's only thing we can do with that 24 hours. And that's on Morning May. But anyway, listen, all jokes aside, no, seriously, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, leave any suggestions of what you want to see next. We will do. I can't even speak. Listen, because I want to get straight into this. That's probably why I don't really want to, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, follow the Alkebulantrust on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter. I didn't say that, but now you heard me say that. So let's get into the video right now. Journey of African colony. You will never be among us. But yeah, listen, let's go.
The South, and then the North, would soon be under British Empire. But first, the old caliphate and other northern kingdoms needed to be conquered. They needed a strong hand, technology. The Maxim gun and sheer brute force came to British aid in the northern conquest. The West African Frontier Force commander was assigned to the north.
By the way, this documentary or this docu-series you can catch on Netflix. The link is in the description box below. And yeah, just wanted to mention that in case you wanted to watch it fully, properly as well, deep, what's really going on. Alright, so let's get back into it. Get me?
The caliphate dug deep, vying that the British would never be among them.
You will never be alone. So yeah, so basically this is part 3. This is You Will Never Be Among Us. So yeah, so just to reiterate, the name of this docu-series, this particular part is Journey of an African Colony. You Will Never Be Among Us. The Making of Nigeria. But yeah, today I recorded this video as well. Ironically, Nigeria won their game in the African Cup of Nations. In fact, you may see a reaction videos to the highlights of most of the games. By God's grace, I shall be able to do it. If I don't, forgive me, but that is the intention. If it happens, it happens, isn't it? Like, there's no more me saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I can only put my best effort forward doing what's necessary. And the same goes your way. You can only do what you want to do. And just try, innit? You know what I mean? Life is unpredictable. That's just the harsh reality of life. Kanu.
We're on our way to Kanu.
Wait, alright. Listen, I'm not going to pause way too much, and I get it. But obviously, I have to mention, I'm not sure if you're aware. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know. But, obviously you saw the spelling of Kanu, but if the era I grew up in, listening to music in the UK, there is an artist or an MC, one of the best MCs in the UK, from my humble opinion, and his name is called Kano, and it's actually spelled the same way as Kanu. You see what I mean? So it would be interesting if he could work with an artist or work with someone, because he's also an actor as well, as in Top Way. He's acted in other things as well. But it would be interesting if he could actually work with someone that is from Kanu, I think that'll be interesting. That's just me giving out ideas. It is what it is. But would you like to see that? Leave your answer in the comment section below. Yeah, in the comment section below, leave your thoughts. But yeah, let's go.
Trace Frederick Lugard's steps in the Northern Expedition, the acquisition of the Northern Territory. By early 1903, he succeeded in capturing Borgu, Musa, Odangura, Lori, Bauchi, and even by peaceful arrangements, there were two emirates that stood out, that were the big captures. Kano being the largest population, market city with a huge population of 50,000 people in 1903 was a lot.
Damn,
And so was the symbolic crown, the head of all the emirates. Now, it was Chamberlain's plan that this new force commander be independent of the Royal Niger Company and free of the influence of the flamboyant and sometimes reckless George Gould. Chamberlain needed to establish control over parts of Dahomey and reclaim Borgu and force a French retreat. Once the plans were done, the only outstanding problem remained locating the man for the job. Chamberlain settled for Captain Frederick Daltrey Lugard.
The Sir Joseph Chamberlain, when Colonial Secretary, decided that the British government should cancel the Niger Company's charter and assume direct control. I was appointed to this task as Governor of Northern Nigeria on January the 1st, 1900.
This was 1897, and Lugard, a soldier and sometime mercenary, had served the British Army in India, Sudan, Burma, and notably Nyasaland. He joined the British...
Look at that, yeah? Alright, see, this is why I genuinely do not believe in coincidences, yeah? Or coincidence, or however you want to pronounce that word. Because, remember earlier in the video I was saying how, ironically, the day I recorded this video, or whatnot, or this reaction video, Nigeria played and they won in the African Cup of Nations. Now, the team they actually, or the nation that actually beat, or they played was Sudan. They won 3-1, Nigeria. You know what I mean? They scored the first 3 goals in the first half, and then Sudan had a penalty. And they scored their penalty. But listen, you'll see the reaction video to them highlights if possible. I don't want to make any promises that I can't keep, but that is the intention. I want to do reaction videos related to Africa and the Caribbean type of videos. You know what I'm saying? That's so. If you got any suggestions, by all means, go ahead, leave it in the comment section below. All right. But let's get back into this video. But yeah, it's just interesting how Frederick Lugard had influence on Nigeria and also Sudan. It's just, yeah. But anyway, let's go.
Africa Company and was sent to Uganda. Lugard was an otherwise unremarkable man. He was born in Madras, India, the son of a military clergyman and a reverend's daughter.
I don't understand. Reverend's daughter. So it's like, what? Anyway,
yeah. After the 1804 declaration of the jihad by Usman Danfodio, the other Hausa states fell: Zamfara, Kano, Daura, Katsina, and Zaria. They were all now headed by appointed and loyal emirs. This established dominance of the Fulani over a network of emirates. They spread Islam as far south as Ilori.
I like that shot, overhead shot. You know what I mean? with kids around and that. Do you know what I mean? Following him.
Lugard knew the northern Nigerian territory fairly well. He'd been here since his days as the commander of the West African Frontier Force in the 1890s. But even back then, the control that the British had of patchy areas of the Northern Territory was now no longer enough. In 1902, he was determined to take the entire Northern Territory. This is what he was to say in his report of the amalgamation. The population of the North, described in 1874 by Barth as the densest in all Africa, had by 1900 dwindled to some 9 million, owing to intertribal war and above all to the slave raids of the Fulani. From a very early date, the influence of Islam had made itself felt in the North, and the religious revival of the early years of the 19th century had formed the motive for the Fulani conquests, which swept the country from Sokoto in the northwest to Yola, 1,000 miles to the east, and from the Sahara to the confines of the equatorial belt. He was now ready to replace that with British authority. He was ready to take the North.
Bro, I don't understand how this. Anyway.
The ancient Kanem Bornu Empire had its Bornu territory in the northeastern portion of the country today.
See, look, are you deep in this? Are you deep in this? You see, this is why to me I'm like, yo, how does this make any sense? Do you see what I mean? Having an empire, we have these many different empires within these regions, and you're telling me, you know, obviously with empires you have soldiers, obviously, right? Well, I won't say obvious, but in most cases that you have soldiers, bro. Like, and I'm not saying that none didn't defend or, you know what I mean, but because some did. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, this is wild to me. It's like, you know when they say it's as easy as taking food from a baby? You know that phrase, right? Well, let's deep it. That's what it kind of comes across as, because even I saw a video earlier, which I may have to react to soon. And I can break it down as well. In fact, I probably will. That's my intention. If it happens, it happens. But like, yeah. And I did, and I'm like, hang on, no. That don't make sense. It's like, yeah, some people take people's weakness for, do you know what I mean? Take their strengths or their character for weakness or whatever. But then there's another side to it where, do you know what I mean? But listen, I'm not going to chat too much. Let's get back into this because we only are like 7 minutes in, and this is like over 38 minutes. So, you know, let's go.
Third ruler, the Sheikh, enjoyed a near divine status amongst the Kanuri people, and they had remained fiercely independent of any external control for centuries. Straddled in between Fulani country in the west and Bornu in the east were the autonomous Hausa states, prominently Zaria, Kano, Katsina, and Daura. The Fulbe, now commonly known as the Fulani, spoke Fula. They were pastoralists who probably came down from what is now Sudan.
Okay.
Their features and devotion to Islam very much akin to the Arabs of North Africa. Lugard would embark on this expedition, the task given to him by Joseph Chamberlain, the Secretary of State for the colonies, with ruthless military precision. He had already shown signs that it had to be him that was handpicked because of his antecedents. Lugard used the Maxim gun in a callous heat of fission. It brings to mind the chilling words of Hilaire Belloc. Whatever happens, we have got the matter.
Hang on. Are you telling me this guy was born on my birthday, bro? Obviously, like, years before me. But still, like, yo, that's wild. No, listen, sis, my birthday is July 27th. Yeah. That's wild. That's wild. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
And they have not. The Maxim was the new wave of high technology of its day, invented by Sir Hiram Stevens Maxim. It was a devastating advantage in warfare of the 19th century. The Maxim could fire 600 rounds per minute. A relatively smaller army could defeat a larger cavalry of the bravest of soldiers.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Lugard knew and loved the weapon immensely. He had used its prototype in Central Africa and Uganda. He was convinced that it would work successfully in his mission to subdue the Northern Territory. As Lugard set about his bloody campaign, he led the first expedition northwards and attacked Abuja in 1902. As Lugard and his buccaneering force ventured northwards along the river Kaduna, they progressively acquired new territory. At the same time, Lugard made ground by first capturing Bida and Kontagora, and then Bauchi and Gombe, Olgu, Kaba, Muri, and Bassa, Nasarawa. By January of 1903, the decision to strike that Lugard had always nursed for the last 2 months was taken by him privately. He organized his trusted Colonel Mola to raise a troop of about 1,000 men, 40 British officers, and 2 Maxim guns. The decision was to go to Kano because of its strategic importance, to go to Kano first. Kano had the reputation of being incredible because of its city gates and the huge wall that was surrounding the entire emirate. We wanted to go and see the city gates.
Taking Kano, Dharma.
What, in your opinion, is the importance of the Kano Emirate in the entire Emirate system?
Kano was a commercial center where people came for business, a learning center, industrial center, because in those years, Kano was the place where the weaving of cloth is in Kano, and the dyeing, coloring it into whatever color you need is Kano. So these are few things which made Kano to be so significant: the industry, the commerce, and the learning.
What was the reason behind the war? Why the war?
Very good question. The war was for protection.
You see?
Protection against enemies. You know, there are so many wars.
You see, this is why I know and how I look, because even I don't know if they will mention it in this docuseries, but there does seem to be a trend of walls that protect. You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the biggest walls in I think even this is bigger than the wall of China. Where is it? I think it's in Benin. I can't remember where. I should know, but I did hear about it still. But yeah, man, that shows you how deep this thing goes, isn't it? Like it goes, it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. Get me? But yeah, but it just shows you our people do defend our stuff with what they can. You know what I mean? But now it's about getting our stuff back because but then again, how do we get our stuff back and get back to living the way that we're supposed to live without bloodshed? That is one, but that's a good question. Leave your answer in the comment section below. How do we get true power and freedom without bloodshed? True independence without bloodshed? Because it's clear, like, most of these African and Caribbean countries are not independent. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, let's not go too deep into that into this video. We might do another video on that separately. You know, are African and Caribbean countries independent? But let's go.
Great Wall of Kano. It's a 1,000-year history, built commencing about 1095.
Damn.
This has the impression of creating a totally impregnable city-state surrounding about 14 kilometers of
Kano City Wall.
geographic area. In parts of the city, it reaches up to 50 feet.
Bro.
It's a massive piece of architecture and engineering made of clear brick wall. In parts of the city, the thickness of the wall is said to reach about 20 feet.
Damn.
The city-state has the geographic advantage as a military defense strategy as well, to ensure that it's fortified itself against any sort of action. And in 13 places, it's punctuated by city gates, just like this. And this was one of the gates that the British would have had to breach in order to enter the city-state in Kabul. The casino wouldn't have been any easy feat in 1903. The military operation against Kano was the Guard's initiative. He had no approval from the British Colonial Office. He later claimed the approval was slow to come. The Guard selected his trusted deputy, Colonel Morland. He dispatched him on 2nd of February 1903 with officers, men, and Maxim guns from Zaria to Kano for the attack. Morland found that the Emir had anticipated them. He had issued the command: death to any son of Kano who opens these blessed gates to the white men. Repeating Morland's order, the frightened translator shouted, "Open the gates." On Morland's command, troops took aim and fired.
I have to pause that for a minute, boy, because for a few seconds, this shit's so deep that I'm like, yo, this is. Because you see life, yeah. You see when people try to take over and try to be like, they try, like, for what reason? Like, for what reason do they feel they need to take over somewhere? For what reason? And choosing violence. For what reason? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, if it's, like, I would understand if it was their land, their resources, their people, they're trying to get back or take back or whatever, but it's not. Like, this is what's so wild to me, bro. Like, this is so flipping wild. But, yeah, long live the legacies of those that are fallen. I don't like saying rest in peace in it, because, get me, they went through a lot of, I don't want to use the word hell, but they went through a lot. You know what I mean? So saying rest in peace to me is like an insult. You know what I mean? Because they attempted. You know what I mean? They attempted to do something to protect and defend. And some of them just, unfortunately, you know, were casualties of trying to defend and protect. Get me? Well, I'd rather die by that honor, to be honest with you, by defending and protecting. But anyway, let's not get into that right now.
The British shelled the city walls continuously until the gates fell. The Guard himself was a couple of days behind Morland. There was no longer any significant resistance left in Zaria. The Emir had left, and his right-hand man was cooperating with the British resident. Still, the Guard and his men were spoiling for a fight. Over the next 5 days, approximately 200 were killed without any British loss.
Wait, we have to pause that for a second. His right-hand man, like, there is a pattern of behaviour that goes on when you deep everything, yeah? Even with the Black Panther Party, even with how, you know, the Honourable Chairman Fred Hampson Sr. and how he unfortunately died. You know what I mean? Or murdered, should I say, and how he was assassinated. let's deep that for a moment, right? I don't know if the video's still up. It might be. I ain't got a clue. But the documentary. But even if you watch the movie, what's it called again? I forgot what it's called. I'll put it up. But like Judas and the Black Messiah. See, I don't know why they call it Judas, because like even that brother, I forgot his name. Like, forgive me, but like even him, like he was manipulated into going against his own people, and even in the process it's like you know what I mean, like, bro, fam, listen, this thing is deep. And even if you look at the whole Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, same situation. He was sold out by someone that he knew personally. Do you know what I mean? That, like, again, it's always your own people, bro. That is, and if you look at let's look at like rappers that have unfortunately died or whatever, or been robbed or whatever. It's always the closest people to them. Like I remember Mogs. Is it Mogs? Mowgli? I think that bro. Is he from Birmingham? Birmingham in the UK. For those who are watching that are in America, not Birmingham in America, Birmingham in the UK. Like, he was robbed by his own people he knew. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, now I know that is something completely different in terms of organization and trying to fight and protect for your own people and stuff like that. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, it's always someone closest to you. Do you know what I mean? In fact, even in the show Power Book 2, yeah? I can't remember what episode it was, but Kane said something to Tariq, and I know this is fictional, yeah, but at the same time it's still reality of life. He said it's your something to do with the closest person you know. Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting how, like, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but do you know what I mean? If you watch it, you will understand exactly what's going on, yeah? If you watch it, just saying it like that, so you get what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let's keep it moving. So in fact, how do we solve this problem? Leave your answer in the comment section below. I want to know your thoughts and your solution to this particular problem, because that is a massive problem in general, and it needs to be solved. What do you suggest? I'll leave my own thoughts, comments on that solution in a separate video. But let's keep it moving.
His own self-serving words. Our little corps of mounted infantry had got into the Fulani and killed 200. This will be invaluable for the morale.
At that time, or before that time,
bro, how
Kenya or Kano, Alu, trouble, so for reconciliation meeting, because there was some kind of discomfort between the Emirate by then and the Sokoto area. So he went there to reconcile and sort out everything, which he did. He was there when the British came to the Kabuga area. They broke the gate of the city and entered into the city in the year 1947.
Sorry, let me just pause it for a second. I know I keep pausing it, and I said I won't pause too often. This brother, yeah, he genuinely looks like, in fact, I know he's from Nigeria or Kano, understandable, but for some reason he looked like he would either be from Somalia or from Sudan. That's just from my perspective. You know what I mean? If I didn't know any better, yeah. But that just goes to show you that, you know, there is that connection. They didn't mention it before. You know what I mean? They did mention the relation between Kano and Sudan, or you know what I mean, or Nigeria and Sudan, but Kano in particular. You know what I mean? Or the Fulanis in particular, which is very, 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 very interesting. But yeah, let's go.
You came straight to the Emir's palace. The Emir was not around. Many people left, some escaped. And soldiers occupied the palace.
Moreland quickly organized the remaining terrified Kano women and children into the new order. The entire 14 quarters of the city-state was...
Okay, I just think I know the solution to that problem. And I think in problems in general, yeah? I don't know if I should be saying on here like this, but then it doesn't matter, like, because, yeah, the solution is gathering women and children and educating them the right way with the right knowledge and lead them by example. You see what I'm saying? I think that is the way forward. Obviously you can't educate and like 1,000 or millions of children like that, but if it's possible, if it would ever be possible, then fair enough. If not, then you gotta do what's necessary with resources in it. But I don't know, that's just my thoughts right now, but I may have different thoughts later, but that seems more realistic. If you look at how things have changed over the years and how people have more or less subconsciously, or maybe not just subconsciously, but have been socially programmed to live and act or react in a way that it benefits colonialism or neo-colonialism. It's mainly because they manipulate the women and children. The men are gonna, I'm not saying that women don't fight and there haven't been children, child soldiers or whatever that have tried to fight or whatever, but it's mainly the men that would go out fight. You know what I mean? So that's only left with the women and the children defending for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, and anyway, let's not go too deep, but you get the point I'm trying to make, right?
In an apprehensive state of alert, expecting British law to be laid down. It was the 6th of March, 1903, his moment in history. Lugard laid out the terms of his rule and of British sovereignty. Kano was now British.
Damn, man.
And so, on a dusty, windy morning, on the 15th of March, 1903, Lugard's men caught sight of the great Sultan Atahiru's cavalry, made up of reputedly 15,000 men on foot and on horseback.
Damn.
Lugard's men, just under 1,000 strong, officers and men, hundreds of rifles, and 2 Maxim guns. That's right. 2 Maxim guns. What separated them was nothing but flatland. As they caught each other inside, the one battle was inevitable. The battle that happened that morning was gruesome. Lugard versus Atahiru.
See what I mean about defending and coming back to defend, to attack, protect.
Who annually raided the pagan tribes for slaves, with armies of horsemen, said to number several thousand. I sent a letter to the Sultan of Sokoto, cautiously worded, but insisting that this slave raiding must cease. He replied curtly that between us there was only war.
From us to you, I do not consent that anyone from you should ever dwell with us. I will never agree with you. I will have nothing ever to do with you. Between us and you, there are no dealings except as between Muslims and unbelievers. War, as God Almighty has enjoined on us, will prevail.
I had at my disposal a small native fort, which I had been instructed to raise in order to check French aggression. But at that time, our relations with the French were very strained. The Muslims were defeated, and the raiding was stopped.
The Guards' troops travelled southwesterly towards Aramburu. The Emir of Gwandu made it clear that he was prepared to fight alongside the Sultan's men. The Guards' advance party was made up of 650 men and 25 officers, hundreds of rifles and 2 Maxim guns. The Sultan Atahiru I of Sokoto made it clear to the Guard that the British were not welcome.
That's right.
On the 14th of March, 1903, a column of Lugard's army advanced. They caught the Caliphate headquarters in the horizon. They were met by the majestic sight of the Sultan's army of 15,000 mounted cavalry and 3,000 footmen, resplendent in their hosiery, protective armor, and organized formations.
That's right.
The onslaught was
Organized.
terrible. Hundreds, probably thousands, lost their lives at the 15th of March battle as Atahiru fled with many soldiers and followers. Sokoto fell to the British.
Damn.
And yet the Guard was not satisfied. He pursued Atahiru to Burmi, far away in the Bauchi district, where the last stand would take place on July 27th.
On my birthday.
He was there along the Dongola Road.
Look, bro, do you see why I don't believe in coincidence? On my birthday. That's the second time in this docu-series, in this particular episode, that my birthday has come up. Do you know what I mean? Not the year, but the day and the month. That's interesting to me. May not be interesting to you, but it's definitely interesting to me. So, what can I say? There has to be a reason why I'm watching this and why I'm reacting to this. And, I don't know what the reason is. But, if there is a reason to find a solution and push forward an idea for people to follow through and, be correct on these things, then it is what it is. If not, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm just at this point in my life, although yes, purpose is important, I'm just following my instincts. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just following my instincts. Because sometimes you can plan things and things just don't go to plan. And you know what I mean? And I'm just so, I don't want to turn this into a therapy episode or whatever, but it's like, it's like how deep it's like. Sometimes when I plan things, it's like, it don't go to plan. So I'd rather just say, you know what, I'm putting this all in God's hand, one of my ancestors' hand. I'm putting on the intention, this is what I'm going to do. But if it's going to happen, God or my ancestors will make it happen. If not, then it is what it is. Like, I won't get upset. I won't even get happy if it does happen. You know what I mean? I'll just be grateful. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't happen, again, I'll try my best not to get upset. And I say when I try my best, it's like there's some situation where you could stress out too tough. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to act like I don't got emotions, as some people may think I don't have emotions. I've heard it several times. But anyway, let's get back into this. It's not even about me. Let's go.
The Sultan was killed during battle, along with Mohammed Kafi and hundreds of other people. As soon as Lugard took Sokoto, he made his declaration. Just listen to what he says. "But all treaties," he declared, "are dead. You have killed them. Now these are the words which I, the High Commissioner, have to say for the future. The Fulani in old times under Danfodio conquered this country. They took the right to rule over it, to levy taxes, to depose kings, and to create kings. They have by defeat lost their rule, which has come into the hands of the British. All these things which I have said the Fulani by conquest took the right to do, now passed to the British. Every Sultan and Emir and the principal officers of state will be appointed by the High Commissioner throughout all this country.
You see the manipulation tactics? Bro, anyway.
Lugard's observations shows that in such a short space of time, mutual friendship based on similar interest of protecting their separate authorities developed between the British and the local royalty. Lugard originally preferred to call the territory Niger Sudan, but Florashaw.
You see? Anyway, let's go.
Later his wife. She rejected the name because it might be confused, she said, with the already existing French Sudan. The ancient Greek philosophers coined the word Niger as referring to a river that was considered an extension of the Nile. Eventually, Lugard was to allow Florashaw to have her way and to name their new obsession Nigeria.
Flora Shaw, the girlfriend of Lord Lugard, could not give us a name because the cognomen of Nigeria is derived from the Latin nigr. Nigr is black. It is from nigr that we got Negro. And now, in fact, the racists now call us niggers. Nigger area. The world's largest...
Let's pull that up for a minute. Yo, hold up.
But Niger, as referring to a river that was considered an extension of the Nile. Eventually, Lugard was to allow Florashaw to have her way and to name their new obsession Nigeria.
Flora Shaw, the girlfriend of Lord Lugard, could not give us a name because the cognomen of Nigeria is derived from the Latin nigr. Nigr is black. It is from nigr that we got Negro. And now, in fact, the racists now call us niggers. Nigger area. The world's largest concentration of black people to be using that epithet of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a name that I'm proud of.
It's not a name that I'm proud of either. Do you know what I mean? Even when I knew part of the history, because I genuinely thought, do you know what I mean? I knew something like this, but not to this deep of extent. I had a problem with saying that I'm from Nigeria and that, but now it's like I'd rather just say I'm half Igbo, half Edo, keep things easy or keep it moving. And if some people say, "Oh, where's that then? Where's that based?" It's based in the motherland, isn't it? Straight up, because that tribe is in I say everywhere, but I'm not 100% certain to say everywhere. But to say the least, they are predominantly in what is called, you know what I mean? I feel so uncomfortable to say Nigeria. And it's funny, I did say it earlier in the video as well, but and I am proud that they did win. I'd rather just call them the Super Eagles, because that's their nickname, innit, in football. But anyway, let's keep moving.
Professor Akin Ibodi, a decorated professor of law and vice chancellor, one of the greatest minds in Nigeria. The word nigger, probably one of the nastiest, most divisive words in the English language today. Racial connotations are enormous. But in 1902, when Lugard and Shaw were buccaneering across northern Nigeria, did it have that derogatory meaning already? Its origins probably date back to the 18th century, the 1700s, where the phrase was probably popularized. But it reached the height of its racial connotation in the mid-20th century, in the 1900s. But what do African Americans think? What do they think of a place like Nigeria that is so a large part of their ancestral belonging? Now knowing the meaning of the word Nigeria, do they feel a triple insult as to their own ancestral origins? What do Nigerians think? Do they feel a sense of shame and insult every time they proclaim their patriotic nationality? Something that somebody forgot to change, unlike Nyasaland becoming Malawi and Rhodesia becoming Zimbabwe. What do you think?
And you know what I think? Knowledge is power, right? If you understand these type of things from a certain age, you're gonna try and find a way to navigate through it. And the funny thing is that it's like, how do you not go through this? Do you see what I mean? Now, I know, for example, Biafra wants to separate from Nigeria, which they can, and they will. Yeah, God willing, ancestors willing, they will. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's gonna take them type of things to happen. Yeah, and I think that's I don't want to get this wrong, but I'll do a separate video on it. But there's other parts, other tribes that or other ethnicities, or you know what I mean, that want to separate from Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing I'm trying to say is it's just doing what's within your own people's settings. You know what I mean? Like if they want to, like I don't know how to explain it. It's techie, but there's ways around it. You know what I mean? Because obviously, clearly, Nigeria is still controlled and manipulated by the oppressors or colonizers. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, let's just keep it moving.
Always candid with his wife, while recalling his life experience in Africa amongst the natives, he once said to her, "I have lived all my life largely amongst my inferiors." As an administrator, he chose a high hand and no concern for Nigerians. Michelle Obonu was said to have stood in his magnificent splendor in front of the guard. He held the Quran and gazed at the guard with caution. "Is there anything that you want me to swear to that will interfere with Islam?" "No, nothing at all," the guard replied. "I can assume the wishes of my forefathers without fear of betrayal?" The guard responded with reverence, "Yes, Chief." The monarch then solemnly stated, "I swear I shall observe your conditions and all you say." By 1912, the guard was back, appointed the governor of northern Nigeria with a clear mandate to complete the task of unifying the territory into one administration. We're now here in what would have been the northernmost tip of southern Nigeria in 1913. Behind me is the town of Kishi in present-day Oyo State, and to my southeast is the town of Ilorin in present-day Kwara State, and to my northeast is the old military headquarters of the West African Frontier Force, the town of Jeba. And this, in December of 1913, would have meant that if I took a few steps before midnight, I'd be in northern Nigeria.
Damn.
The task of joining the two Nigerias into one and falling on Lugard, after the joinder of the Lagos colony with southern Nigeria, the two Nigerias united together was going to create a large and significant territory. So significant, it was 5 times the size of England and Scotland joined together. A third of the size of British India, which itself is now 3 different countries. This was a significant territory. The 17 million people with the population of 3,000 Europeans, only 40% of them were involved in that British administration, the rest in commerce. The projected revenue of the United Nigerias in 1914 was to be £3 million, which in today's money is 300 million pounds. This was not a little part of the empire. This was a significant part of the empire. That was a chicken change. It was Lugard's duty to make this dividing line disappear. Let's see how he did it.
We should not forget that the Nigeria we see on the map today as one country, not always so. It was not a country, but a mere geographical expression.
You heard that, right? Let's rewind that again. So you can clearly hear exactly what was said, even though you can see it for yourself, but like, you know.
See how he did it.
should not forget that the Nigeria we see on the map today as one country was not always so. It was not a country, but a mere geographical expression.
There's that phrase that Nigeria is a mere geographic expression, and it's often used dismissively to explain why there's problems with unity and poor performance. And it's credited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and I think it came from his book, The Path to Freedom. But every country is a work of fiction. Every country has artificial borders, and you can't find any country that everybody there is the same.
True.
Whether it's Belgium with the Flemish and the French, or whether it's United Kingdom with the Welsh, the Scottish, the English, the Irish, there is no excuse.
Which just got us going to separate.
Being put together by artificial borders for the performance of the country. And the phrase a mere geographic expression probably came originally from Frederick Lugard in his amalgamation report of 1919. He had this to say: amalgamation, in my view, was not a mere political, geographical, or more especially a financial expression. I regarded it rather as a means whereby each part of Nigeria should be raised to the level of the highest place attained by any particular part. So he had every reason to think, quite rightly, that the joinder made everybody perform even better. The British were ebullient in victory, so much that Viscount Harcourt, the colonial secretary, had time for some after-dinner humour at the colonial service party. He said wryly, "We have released northern Nigeria from the leading strings of the treasury. The promising and well-conducted youth is now on an allowance, on his own, and is about to effect an alliance with a southern lady of means. I have issued the special license, and Sir Frederick Lugard will perform this ceremony. May the union be fruitful, and the couple constant. The Nigerias are not designed to be a great trust, but a great federation." October and November went by, and still there was no official intimation of what form amalgamation would take, or even when it would be effected. Joining up the pieces to make Nigeria was done in two stages. The Crown Colony of Lagos and the Protectorate was joined with the newly created Southern Protectorate to create Southern Nigeria in 1906. Southern Nigeria was then joined up with the old North Territories, now called Northern Nigeria. The proclamation ceremony was fixed for the 1st of January 1914, Amalgamation Day. The ceremony took place at the old colonial courthouse at the exact spot now occupied by Independence Fountain in Tinubu Square.
Bro, this is mad deep.
Fortunately, we have the record of the speech that Sir Frederick Lugard delivered that morning of the 1st of January 1914. It's in his amalgamation report, and let's read a part of it here today. Today, Nigeria enters on a new stage of its progress, and we will all join in the earnest hope the era now inaugurated will prove not only a new departure in material prosperity, but also that the coming years will increase the individual happiness and the freedom from oppression, and raise the standard of civilization and of comfort of the millions who inhabit this large country. To these sole ends, the efforts of my colleagues and myself, with God's help, will be devoted. And those were Lugard's words. Who was later to turn out to be the most oppressive and uncivilized of all the governors of colonial Nigeria, had those words to say on the proclamation day here in Independence Square.
Still feel the power of this place. On Proclamation Day, just after the amalgamation was announced, on the 1st of January, Lugard and all the government top functionaries went to the Government House And there he swore in the Chief Justice and the Legislative Council. But it was back here, when he came back here, he must have understood the power and authority that he did have. Because this was the central office of the colonial government, the newly formed Nigeria. And it was from here that the future and fortunes of the nation were going to be run for the next 56 years. This is a hugely important edifice to the history of this country. After the Crown Colony of Lagos built this place under Sir Walter Egerton, it was taken over by the Nigerian government under Frederick Lugard. And so from 1914, Lugard, Clifford, Thompson, Cameron, Ordiner, Richards, McPherson, Robertson.
Wait, that Donald Cameron related to David Cameron? I wouldn't be surprised, innit? I wouldn't be surprised. What's your thoughts?
All the governors, right from this office, this is where the revenue of this country was exacted. This office related to Whitehall and Downing Street directly.
Then yeah.
And ran the colony from this very spot. It must have been a powerful seat to occupy. From these offices, clearly you can see the ports, the harbour, and the landings across the jetties over there.
Excuse me.
And then on the 1st of January 1914, Lugard read King George's telegram. On the occasion of the formal amalgamation of the two Nigerias, I wish to convey to all the emirs, chiefs, and all the inhabitants of the new protectorate and colony my best wishes for their future happiness. Pray assure them of the greatest interest I take in all that concerns their welfare, and express my earnest hope that great prosperity may be in store for them. And with that, he departed by motor car through the narrow streets lined mainly with soldiers, and a pattering of the very apprehensive newly born Nigerians. Lugard didn't care for their views. He knew he had already applied for government approval to remove the capital of Nigeria from this wretched place. Lugard was very concerned about European welfare. He was acutely aware that the white man's well-being would guarantee his performance, and in turn the performance of the colony's economy. He pressed Lord Harcourt for a policy of strict segregation. There will be a European town situated on the high ground on the left bank of the river.
Like, huh? No, you see, I can't even get words out to express how I feel or what I want to say on that, but huh? Anyway.
A native town situated on the right bank, and a town for native officials situated on the same side of the river of the adjoining native town.
Officials going to northern Nigeria and those going to southern Nigeria looked upon each other with equal contempt, I think. We never spoke to each other. We always took it for granted that all southern officials were rather fat, rather flabby, that they started drinking at 6 o'clock, while we never started before 6:30. In the north we rode on horses. In the south it is said that some officials were carried in hammocks.
Really for us. Just picking up from what she said about how different even the colonialists in the north and the south were, and therefore they felt the northerners and the southerners in Nigeria themselves were different. Literally talking about two different countries, whereas they were already one country by then. Do you feel that? Do you feel like there are two different countries in Nigeria today?
not literally, but clearly there's a very strong difference. I said to my children who've grown up in southern Nigeria, even though they visited the north once in a while, but I don't think they remember it well, I said to them, you must go up to the north, you must visit Abuja, because it's like visiting another country. That doesn't mean to say it really does feel like another country. Clearly I'm from UK, and I think anybody who's grown up in London visiting Aberdeenshire, for example, would say it's like visiting not even just another country, it's almost like visiting the moon. So there's a clear difference, as you're going to get surely in any large country.
I'm glad you
Nigeria
broke
was
it
one
down,
country
right?
by British law. Next, we see the crucial role women play in the making of Nigeria,
I'll be a woman.
in the country's first widespread
Igbo
civil
women.
disobedience, a movement organized, developed, and executed by the women of Nigeria.
Alright, so that's the end of that. But yeah, if you got to the end of this video, thank you. Hit in the comment section below, hashtag Alkebulan is great again. Do that. Also, thank you for watching. Again, we're gonna get on to part 2. Ain't that interesting? I see 2112. Anyway, we'll get into that another day in regards to mirror numbers and stuff like that. If possible, I don't know. But yeah, like boom, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video, get me. You wanna watch the original video, docu-series to this or whatever, the link is in the description box below. On top of that, like I said, again, leave a like, comment, share, do your stuff. Anything you suggest, by all means, leave that in the comment section below. And yeah, because you never know, the video you suggest might just be next.